children of all ages. Welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, NXT TakeOver. There's been 23 of these in history. 122 matches. I do this almost the lead up to every TakeOver. I do the best TakeOver matches. Because each TakeOver, a match, 2 or 3 get added to the list. So they become the best matches in TakeOver history. When TakeOver can do that, when you have a show like NXT TakeOver, each show you have a top 10, top 15 in this case, matches, and that upcoming show adds 2 or 3 matches to the list and knocks them off. Why would you fuck with that? And that's what WWE is doing. Is you created this brand, NXT TakeOver, NXT. Triple H, his brainchild. He's the brainchild of this. He goes to the corporate side of WWE. Vince is trying to have him find a role where he wants to be in the company. He asked Vince about developmental. Where's our next, not superstar, the next cameraman, the next on-air personality, the next superstar? Where's the next in line? Oh, we just come up with it. We figured it out. So Vince kind of shut him down. He went throughout the company, did some things, came back to Vince, said, look, I think we need a developmental, not only for the superstars, but for a cameraman, for stage personnel, for lighting, for sound, etc. We need kind of a way to bring these people in, and kind of have where we can build them up for what we want, what we expect, and kind of build them up. Vince was finally said, fine, whatever. You create something and bring it back to me. He created NXT. He found Full Sail University, who does behind the scenes TV stuff. That's their school. Perfect. They have an arena. Perfect. We created NXT. We filmed some video and shows, passed it off to Vince, and said, here, what do you think? Here we are, 5 years later, I think it is. NXT. NXT can be one of the best brands ever. We have NXT UK. There's rumors of NXT Latin America, NXT Japan, NXT Asia. Tripp wants to expand the NXT brand across the world. In 20 years, could we be looking at NXT taking over WWE? Would Tripp ever do that? Would we ever kind of, WWE is the old way, here's the new way? I don't know. So, this is the best matches in TakeOver history. 23 TakeOvers, 122 matches. I got the 15 best women matches, the 15 best men's matches. Let's get started. Number 15 for the women came from Chicago 2. Champion Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross. Shayna retained her title in a 3-star match. Number 14 comes from War Games 2. 2 out of 3 falls. Kairi Sane, the Mae Young Classic winner, versus champion Shayna Baszler. With the help of her cronies, Shayna Baszler was able to retain the title in that 2 out of 3 falls match. I give it 3 1/4. Next up, number 13 on the list comes from War Games. Fatal 4-Way. We had Nikki Cross versus Peyton Royce versus Kairi Sane versus Ember Moon. Ember Moon was able to retain her title here. 3.5-star match. Number 12. TakeOver New Orleans. We had champion Ember Moon facing Shayna Baszler. Shayna ended up winning the title in a 3 3/4-star match. Number 11 comes from Dallas. We had champion Asuka versus Bayley. Bayley was one of Asuka's victims multiple times during Asuka's undefeated streak. I gave this one 3 3/4-star. Next up, number 10 on the list. Women's title. 2 out of 3 falls. TakeOver Phoenix. Champion Shayna Baszler versus Bianca Belair. Shayna ended up getting the win. Once again, her little cronies, Maria Schiffler and Jasmine Duke, helping her out. I did give it 3 3/4-star. I thought it was really good. Bianca Belair can be kind of the next down the, you figure we had the 4 horsewomen. And as they moved up to the main roster, Asuka and Ember Moon came along. And now Shayna Baszler. Now I think Bianca Belair is kind of that next group that can come in and kind of take the reign once Shayna gets moved up. Number 9 on the list comes from Unstoppable. We had champion Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch. 4-star classic with Sasha getting victory. Number 8, TakeOver Revival Fatal 4-Way. We had the 4 horsewomen, Sasha versus champion Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Bayley. Sasha winning the title in the Fatal 4-Way. Now, current WWE storylines, currently what is going on in WWE, they could almost get this match done now. Because the winner-take-all match at Mania, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. Confident to say Becky should win that, take both titles. So why not have a 4-way? Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley. Have Bayley and Sasha lose the tag titles. Do a 4-way, 2 out of 3 falls match. First fall for the Raw Women's title. Second fall for the SmackDown Women's title. You could do it, if they do Evolution this year, you could do it there. You could do it at SummerSlam. Maybe have Becky hold both titles till SummerSlam, defend it on both shows, and then go on there and do that 2 out of 3 falls fatal 4-way. Just a thought. I get that 4 as well. Number 7, from the original TakeOver, we had Charlotte Flair with her Daddy Rick in the corner versus Natalya with Uncle Brett in the corner. This was the first ever NXT TakeOver. This was for a vacated NXT Women's title. Paige had vacated it when she moved to the main roster. And we had Charlotte winning the NXT title right here. And I get it? 4-star Charlotte Flair. Hey! Just came up with that. Which actually, WWE, if you wanted to do a true 4 horseman, you have 2 of them. Charlotte Flair, Tessa Blanchard. You could add, other ones to do a true 4 horsewoman. Rachel Evers, she's a 2nd generation. She's Paul Ellering's daughter. And I know there's other superstars' daughters around. Natalya and some other ones probably. You could legit do a 4 horsewomen with family of the original 4 horsemen that are all 2nd generation superstars. They're out there. You just got to sign them. You just got to sign Tessa Blanchard, who's one of the top independent wrestlers in the world right now. Alright, number 6 on the list came from Brooklyn 2. We had champion Asuka versus Bayley. Once again, Bayley became a victim of Asuka. I also gave that one 4-star. Number 5, from TakeOver Respect 30-minute Iron Woman match. We had champion Bayley versus Sasha Banks. Bayley getting the win here. This was a main event match. I give it 4 1/4. The next 2, you could flip-flop them. They are both 4 1/4-star matches. They are both Ember Moon versus Asuka, with Ember being a victim of Asuka. One was at Brooklyn 3, one was at Orlando. They were back-to-back takeovers because Orlando was Mania weekend and then Brooklyn was SummerSlam weekend. 2 great matches, 2 matches. I mean, you can flip a coin which is supposed to be which. I got Brooklyn 3 as 4, I got Brooklyn as 4 and Orlando as 3. You could be either or. So those both kind of run together there. Number 2 on the list comes from Brooklyn 4. We had champion Shayna Baszler versus the Mae Young Classic winner Kairi Sane. We had Kairi Sane beating Shayna Baszler in a 4 1/4-star match. And the greatest match for the women in NXT TakeOver history, Brooklyn 1. We had champion Sasha Banks versus Bayley. 4.5-star phenomenal match with Bayley getting the victory. As we go to TakeOver New York, we have a 4-way set up for the NXT Women's title. There was rumor that they could develop that into a ladder match because there's a poster that has the women on one side, the men on the other, and the women have ladders underneath of them. Either it's a straight-up 4-way, or it's a 4-way ladder. It is 4 of the top women superstars in NXT. It's going to be great. It may actually be the best women's match ever. Alright, let's go to the men's. The top 15 men's matches from NXT TakeOver. We have number 15, from NXT TakeOver Chicago. NXT tag titles on the line in a ladder match, main event. Champions AOP versus DIY. AOP winning 4.5-star classic that began the feud between Ciampa and Gargano when DIY broke up. Next, we have another tag team match classic from Brooklyn 4. We have the Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain. Undisputed Era getting the victory, but it was a great rivalry between Mustache Mountain and the Undisputed Era. I gave this one 4.5. It's a phenomenal match. Speaking of Mustache Mountain, number 13 on the list comes from TakeOver Chicago. The WWE United Kingdom title on the line. We had Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate is part of Mustache Mountain with Trent Seven. Pete Dunne is actually part of British Strong Style, which is part of Mustache Mountain. So when they're a three-way, it's British Strong Style, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Trent Seven. The tag team of Mustache Mountain is Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. Here we had the United Kingdom title match between Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, who was champion at the time. He was the first ever UK champion. Pete Dunne getting a victory. That match was 650 days ago. Pete Dunne ain't relinquished that title yet. He defends it in New York versus Walter. That gonna be good. That could make this list. Definitely, yeah. This is 4.5, and it's 13 on the list. Yeah, Walter Pete Dunne should be above that. Next up, number 12 on the list comes from War Games 2. The War Games match, Undisputed Era versus War Raiders, Pete Dunne and Ricochet. Give it 4 3/4. Next up on the list, number 11 comes from TakeOver Phoenix. The NXT tag titles on the line. We had War Raiders versus the champions, the Undisputed Era. War Raiders getting the victory here. I give it 4 3/4. Hell of a match, especially to start off a TakeOver. Number 10 comes from TakeOver Philadelphia. Extreme Rules. Aleister Black and Adam Cole. Bye. Aleister getting a victory in this Extreme Rules match. Phenomenal match. I gave it 4 3/4. Number 9 on the list comes from Revolution. NXT title versus career. Sami Zayn versus Andrea Neville. Sami Zayn saving his NXT career and winning the title from Neville. 4 3/4. Number 8, War Games 2, NXT title. Tommaso Ciampa versus the Velveteen Dream. Tommaso Ciampa winning. I gave it 4 3/4. The Velveteen Dream, when he first came in to NXT, he was Patrick Clark. Similar gimmick. They ended up renaming him the Velveteen Dream and debuted this gimmick completely. I wasn't crazy about it. Wasn't crazy about him. Oh, fuck. What the hell's this? He had the feud with Aleister Black. It was all about say my name. Aleister beat the fucking tar out of him. In a great fucking match, by the way. And Aleister said his name at the end. I'm like, fuck. After that match, you know how great Aleister Black is. Seeing how great Velveteen Dream was, it's like, oh fuck. Velveteen was champion. I can see that. After this match, why isn't Velveteen Dream a fucking champion? Oh wait, he is. He's a North American champion. That's right. Yeah, Velveteen Dream is pretty freaking cool. He's a great wrestler. I give it 4 3/4. Next up, also 4 3/4. Number 7, New Orleans TakeOver NXT North American title debut in a 6-way ladder match. EC3, Killian Dane, Lars Sullivan, Adam Cole, bye. See, you have to do that. Velveteen Dream and Ricochet. Holy shit. That was a chant that was said a lot that night. Adam Cole getting a victory, becoming the first ever North American champion, 4 3/4 star. Number 6 on the list, Chicago 2, a street fight. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Enough said. 4 3/4, phenomenal match. Now, the next 5 matches are all 5-star. They're all on the best main events in NXT TakeOver history. Number 5, TakeOver Phoenix NXT title, Ciampa Black, Ciampa retaining. Number 4, NXT TakeOver Phoenix, NXT North American title on the line. This wasn't on the main event one. We had champion Ricochet versus Johnny Gargano. I seen things in this match that I've never seen before. This match was fucking crazy. It's Ricochet and Johnny Gargano. What else do you expect? Ricochet's already on the main roster. Why isn't Gargano? I don't understand why Johnny Wrestling is not on the main event. What does he have to prove to you, Vince McMahon, to not fucking move him up? You moved up No Way Jose. You moved up Baron Corbin. You moved up Ty Dillinger. But yet, Johnny fucking Wrestling is still in NXT. Maybe what he said in the last NXT was right. That his whole career has been about proving people wrong. His whole career has been about everyone not thinking he was anything and him having to prove himself time after time after time just to get a chance. He is the hottest thing going. Why isn't he on the main roster? He's made a couple appearances, but he hasn't been there week after week after week like Black and Ricochet. Is it because Ciampa got hurt and you wanted them together, so you drop him back to NXT? Alright, I get off my soapbox here. Johnny Gargano won the NXT North American title there in a 5-star match. Next up, number 3 was the main event, unsanctioned match at New Orleans. Gargano and Ciampa, Gargano winning. Number 2, Brooklyn 4, NXT title, last man standing. Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Ciampa retaining his title. And then number 1, TakeOver Phoenix, NXT title, main event, Andrade Cien versus Johnny Gargano. Maybe this is why you haven't moved Gargano up, because you're not using Andrade. And why fucking change it? What is it? What is WWE's thing with one name? Andrade. It's Andrade Cien. Ali. It's Mustafa Ali. Come on, people. I don't get that. Just one name. I mean, come on. But yet you change names of people in NXT to Donovan Dijakovic when it should just be Dijak. But it's WWE for you. NXT's better. New Japan's better, but NXT or WWE is the big thing, big show. We watch. Hopefully it'll change. Hopefully when Tripp takes over it'll change. But that's going to be the best matches in NXT TakeOver history. NXT TakeOver New York will add to this. There are 5 big matches. Check out the preview as it comes. The show's going to be live Friday night on the network. Of all the WrestleMania shows, there's 33 WrestleMania shows, 34 shows this week over the next 4 days. I'm going to watch as many of those as I can. I'm going to do reviews as many as I can. So what you're going to see next week, the following week, is as some of these indie shows, I'm going to review them. As I get time to watch them, I'm going to review them. Right now the goal is Thursday night to check out Impact United as We Stand. Friday night, checking out TakeOver. Maybe have to finish it up Saturday. Hopefully Saturday I can get Supercard done Saturday night, and then Sunday is Mania. We'll see what happens with everything, but definitely a lot of wrestling coming up over the next 4 days. There's, what did I figure out? 200 plus matches happening in New York and surrounding New York the next 4 days. It's gonna be sick. Wish I could be there, but because of Fight TV and Club WWN and WWE Network and New Japan World and Honor Club, boom, you got everything. So that'll wrap it up. Have a great day. Thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a really great day, have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports channel content.